drone with him as well. So if that doesn't go well for them, and even if it does, man, I don't even know if it's enough. Like, I think they just haven't addressed the Morphling. I think the Necro is an incredibly free game. We could potentially go on and on. I do think there's a very good draft for Briar.
All right, so do you want me to paint you the picture of exactly what Supernova needs to happen if they're going to win this game? Of course. All right, so they have got the Blightstone on Sheep, which I like, so they're going to be doing a lot of harass in that lane. I think you need to get at least 1 kill in this lane, minimum. 2 onto a Morphling that's just used the TP back to the lane would be absolutely ideal, but probably not going to happen. You need the Tide Hunter to get into an early-ish Meteor Hammer, which he's got queued up, which I like. And then you need Monkey King to go into an early Nullifier against this Necrophos. So all of that stuff needs to happen. Honestly, if even one of those does not happen, I'm going to find it being a really rough time in them being able to close this one out. Because, you know, you need the kills to be able to snowball into that Meteor Hammer, to be able to take the towers away, to be able to prevent the farm. It just goes on and on. It's a really big snowball effect. And they know exactly where the ward is, at least, to be able to play around with here. Nah, nobody's holding on to the sentry at the moment, though.
The battle begins.
But I guess that means that DK is going to be able to ferry a sentry out to himself and get the D ward off for him. Just pure experience for Han.
I like Undyne. He's going to the Ring of Protection to start for the Clockwork. So either for the Gush, but also potentially reading that the Hoodwink in with the Tide Hunter really likes to go this Blightstone. So that's kind of early read of how this potential matchup is going to go for the Clock.
Yep. I mean, they're just going to look to get any sort of kill, right? Whoever steps forward is going to get the crossbow to the face by Sheep.
So, what does Han actually do in this mid matchup versus the Phoenix? Because this is one of your worst matchups. A hero that has percent damage, can clear the way very easily, and doesn't need to rotate. Like, DK likes heroes that want to rotate to side lanes, Puck in particular, because you force them to stay here and defend the tower. But that's what the Necrophos wants to do. So is Han going to play a little bit more of a greedier game here on the Dragon Knight?
The question to me is, like, are you going to be able to get away with that? I mean, he's going into the braces just because you're constantly going to have this Heartstopper aura ticking you down, so makes it a whole lot more challenging. And I mean, with the Necro, no one... If you're getting this Death Pulse onto a full creep wave, the Heartstopper aura basically just completely refunds your mana with the amount that Death Pulse was reduced. So, I mean, he is just going to be able to play basically kind of like a Timbersaw, but not a Timbersaw, you know? With, you know, not the huge counters that you're really having to face up into. So, yeah, I don't think there is an easy response to, like, what is Han going to do? Maybe he puts more points into the Breathe Fire just so that he can even secure
top lane.
Any of these last hits.
Should have our first blood coming out. It's going to be the zombies that help secure. Very nice read from Winter in particular that he needed to beeline to his Undying's location because they did have a bit of a window there to be able to secure first blood. So that is a nice way to start their safe lane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you've already got like a 10 last hit lead in this mid lane on Phoenix. Got the value build, 1 null tally, 1 bracer. Feels nice. You know, you're just going to get that that passive regen coming out. Extra max mana always helps, and they're already out of regen on this bottom side of the map. So anytime that you're constantly ferrying a bunch of it through to the lane feels bad because you're not extending your lead. And Tide Hunter, we know how tanky he is. He's never really going to be in too much danger.
And I wonder what the build is actually going to be for Phoenix. He does have the Boots of Travel queued up at the moment. Some of the core... Sorry, did I say Phoenix? I guess Phoenix is Necro, so that confused the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. But I've seen some Radiances being built up from the Necro. Have been kind of enjoying seeing that with some of the games so far. But we'll see. What are you kind of preferring out of him this game, potentially?
I think the Radiance is fine. You know, it's going to give you perhaps a little bit too much greed, which is why he's going the Boots of Travel first. He wants to try and get as active as possible on this map, realizing how effective he's going to be against the Tide Hunter, for example. Really wouldn't hate to see Chen go into just a passive cloak after the fact, just so that you're not taking quite so much damage from those early Reaper sides. At least they've been able to get a pull-off on this bottom lane, and it's a decent small camp to be able to do it, so Undyne's going to be able to deny out a lot of this wave. I was honestly expecting Sheep to get a little bit more done on this bottom side of the map. I don't think you're satisfied with just having like a 6th last hit lead on the Tidehunter. Probably should have been the lead plus some, at least, again, 1 kill that I was asking for.
Yeah, because when you're able to pressure the Morphling, it's at those early levels. But once you're able to get a couple more in the attribute shift, then your safe lane, it's that much easier. And he's even closing on the ring of health as well, which should be able to secure his farm. Does have to be maybe a little bit cautious of his Koro flying across the map. And we'll see if Han's able to spy that out. They do have a ward. It's honestly a big Koro if he just beelines to it. Is he going to be fast enough?
Nah. Not like a Mars, unfortunately, where you can just God's Rebuke to kill it either.
That is true.
But yeah, I'm kind of surprised as well that Chen didn't go even just a single point into the Gush to go for some sort of kill attempt onto this Morphling. Feels like a missed opportunity to me. And it really, just by playing this Necro, it prevents Han from making any sorts of rotations, even if he wanted to, right?
Yeah.
You leave the lane, it's getting pushed in. He's just got infinite mana right now on Phoenix.
And if you do it pretty shortly, more than likely Phoenix is going to have that boots of travel as well with how much farm he's getting around the lane. Yep. So I don't even know like if he's ever going to be vulnerable at the early stage. Probably Sharpshooter, but even then, like Sharpshooter plus what? Breathe Fire maxed out. Undying's not going to provide your damage. Like Monkey maybe depends on if he's going to get active. So do you feel like Winter's forced to go for like an Echo Saber build out of the Monkey to kind of offset maybe some of the weaknesses we see from Supernova?
What, like just for a little bit more burst onto the Undying if you catch him out?
Mid lane Han. They're about to hit the level 6 with the melee creep dying, so they'll have the Reaper's Scythe. That should be enough to get the kill onto the Dragonite, and importantly, it also gives the stack over to Phoenix.
Sure does. I mean, I was talking about the value of a casual cloak. I feel like Phoenix is one that could look to benefit from that. Wouldn't even hate to see him go like just an infused raindrops to be able to start this out for all of that burst damage that you're talking about with the Breathe Fire, with the Bushwhack. Yeah, he's just... You're forcing the enemy team to come back to that mid lane. Regen rune, probably not the best one that he could hope for, considering he's just got so much regeneration already, but I think the thing that you're going to be more happy about is just dragging these supports, particularly the Undying, away from this lane to enable the Primal Beast to pick up a little bit more himself. Oh. That falls.
It's a great placement with the Tombstone, though, inside the pit. They're not going to be able to address it very easily at all. Han will turn to make the attempt onto Phoenix, but he's going to be so okay. Plenty of one charges. Doesn't have a level in the Ghost Shroud, but it's not going to be an issue. So look at the kill into the Clockwork. That is Elder Dragon form used, but doesn't look like they'll be able to get much more out of it.
It's fine, right? Morphling, he's like, all right, no pressure on my side of the map. I'm happy. I think at least he's got the Meteor Hammer now coming out to the Tidehunter. Oh, that's not a kill I was really expecting to see happen.
Oh, I don't even think Imitator did anything there.
He dropped Kinetic Field, that's it. Just to prevent him from running away from the trample.
Yeah, that can't be happening in a lane where you're supposed to come out on top. But still, props have to be given to Irving and also Imitator with how they've been able to set up the Primal Beast. Like, he went Boots, Windlace, and the Stick as well to look to continue to avoid the Monkey. And, well, apparently now he's strong enough to be able to get kills in against the Monkey, so... Might see them get some revenge, though. Irving did just hit level 6, so if they get some rotations, they could turn it back around. The Jingu stacks are there for Winter. It's a pretty good mischief dodge as well, but with Phoenix showing up, they'll cut away the life of Sheep, and now they're going to look for Chola as well with a kinetic field, enabling Undying to close the distance, so more and more kills will go the way of Bright.
Like this little play from Han in the mid lane, though, just pulling the creep wave away, not making them meet, making sure that it's a lot of this experience just going in underneath the tower as opposed to any sort of hero. He's got vision on the top side of the map, so he's going to claim the DD for himself as well, and he has a Elder Dragon form to potentially play around with, but again, Phoenix, off the back of that, he's going to have the Boots of Travel finished up in 10 gold. He just walks back mid, so you can't really look to make a rotation anywhere else, and, well, it's still going to be a little bit until Sheep gets into that ultimate for himself, so no Sharpshooter to be able to secure the kill onto this Necro. He doesn't even have a point in the Ghost Shroud yet. That's how confident he feels.
Yeah. And they were going to try and give some solo experience over to Imitator. Got a little bit of a stack over towards the hard camp. I wonder though, they do see Phoenix, so maybe this is going to be an opportunity for them to get some damage back into the tower. I think instantly Necro needs to come back to the lane.
He should. Just wants to quickly finish this one up. Do you have anything else on the courier? No, not quite.
All right, let's see if they can blow him up.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, the DD expired, actually. I thought they still had it. Pretty good tombstone placement. A lot of TPs are coming out from Raid. In fact, every single member is going to look to get involved, even Heart on the Morphling. So they'll be able to catch up to hand thanks to the Primal Beast, and they'll even get the kill as a result of that as well. No Reaper Siphon available, unfortunately. But it will be Heart that claims the gold, so much needed little injection of economy given over to the Morphling.
Just don't want to lose the tower. That's basically it, right? You're playing a greedier draft.
No Chola.
Yeah, later on, and then you can... Nah.
Think of the stacks.
Gotta keep the threat, brother.
Okay.
Like this from the Tide, though. He previously, when he's been attempting to secure this bottom tower with the Meteor Hammer, he has been hit by the tower. He's been adaptive strike by the Morphling, so he's going to get his own D-ward off. Nice little gold injection coming through from Chen. And now there's not going to be quite as much stopping him from hitting this Meteor Hammer in onto the tower. So they're opening up the map a little bit. Like, it's not horrible yet for Supernova. I just feel like they needed it to be going really well for them. And, you know, still at a slight net worth disadvantage, that's not the case.
Do you like the call from Bright to not defend bottom, even though Phoenix did have TP ready?
I think it's fine. I think maybe they would have wanted to get a little bit more out of this mid lane if that was the case. Like, the wave's kind of pushing in. He's actually TPing up top to try and open this one up, maybe feeling that Morphling's farm is the main concern for now, as opposed to what Phoenix is able to do. And you don't really want to stay down the bottom side of the map, because that's away from a lot of the objectives that you're wanting to be able to play around on the Radiant side anyway. So I think the higher priority is just going to be securing this top tower for themselves if they can.
Okay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Hard waveforming through in the mid lane to the dire side of the map. Full Agimorphed as well, or close to it, but wasn't going to be punished.
Why is he going Lincolns? You've got Boundless, Bushwhack, Ravage. You've got
Dragon Tail.
The only one. Is that worth the Lincolns? One spell?
If it's the only spell that they could use to proc it outside of Gush, then feels pretty value, right? You're never going to get caught by it.
So if they're going to be able to defend the tower, Static Storm. So the River's going to prove to be a pretty big issue here for the Dragon Knight as Phoenix has the Scythe back up. So another kill, another stack, and a Tombstone gold given over. We've been considering about looking for more, but they might just... Well, never mind, they do actually have Irving nearby to close the distance on the Chola. So another kill to add to the tally, and they should be able to get the tower as a result of this.
Dire structures are fortified.
So Chen's getting TP'd on this top side of the map. Got Heart here, going to put a little bit of pressure onto him, but he's a tanky boy at this stage. He's going into the pipe. Feels, well, at least the hood, pretty important, but he hasn't really been the one to stand in front of a lot of these objectives just yet, and I feel like that needs to be his main goal at this stage.
Hi, Chen. Are they going to take the fight now? Without the threat of the Ravage, Nova, they'll just be lucky if they lose Chola.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I think they even get a glimpse of Winter as well.
They will. Ooh, no. Going to be able to get away just in time. Not quite level 6 on Undyne yet, despite how well this early game is going for Team Bright. I'm a little surprised that they didn't all immediately just make a rotation up towards this top side. Again, you don't really want to be moving up into where the Tidehunter is because of, you know, he's the one person that's had a pretty decent time in this early game. Maybe now with the Static Storm, they can feel a little bit more confident in being able to do it, though. Especially with Necro just 5 seconds away on the TP, 20 seconds on the Reaper's scythe. That really feels like what they're going for. And look at Necro. He is even predicting that they're going to be going into this Nullifier early on. BKB, not really something that you see a lot of the time on the Necrophos.
Radiant are scanning.
So some very defensive items out of Bright. the early stage, but they probably feel like that's maybe their weakness, where like they have a stronger lineup, but they just want to try and cover their tracks, just make sure there is no opportunity for anyone to go down. Serving, I mean, he's going to have a BKB very shortly as well. It's going to mitigate a lot of the damage, and what Chen, some trouble's going to be the Tide Hunter, but the Kraken Shell might be an issue. An early use of the Ravage will be able to drag him back into the Static Storm. And should be a death. And it's an unfortunate one, especially with an ultimate committed like that. The zombies are starting to be a bit of an issue for Bright. Undying Streak's going to be the sacrificial lamb, though, with a look at the clockwork, helping out with the rest of the boys to reposition. But they can go back in, though. Hart, considering about showing up on the Morphling, there will be another glimpse, though, onto Han. So actually, might be okay for Dire now. They're splitting up their damage early on, but with Phoenix, oh, look at the wraparound. Necrophos, as soon as you see this, man, you know there's going to be no turning it back around. They even got the replica to the Tombstone as well, so it's going to be an easy chase down with the zombies continuing to slow Nova. Is a T2 going to stop them? You bet not. Even Kate tried to TP out as well for the Undying, so a little bit of extra gold being lost there.
It's the sort of game we were expecting, though, isn't it? Unless the early game went phenomenal, this is just going to look super rough. And well, it is the Nullifier that he's going for here on Winter, but he's still quite a ways away from it. Oh, never mind, it's a Radiance. I hate it. Please change. Maybe he sees the BKB on the Necro and he doesn't feel quite as confident. I don't know. Can you think of why?
The Radiance in particular?
Yeah.
I'm starting to see it a little bit more on Monkeys as well.
But it has to be a good Radiance game, and it doesn't really feel like a good Radiance game to me.
Versus the Necro, I don't mind it, but you got BKB now. So...
Do you want to take a long extended team fight against a Necro? With no abilities to, like, truly hold them in place inside the Wukongs?
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I don't know if you can go that first item, though.
I think. Again, they've got to get kills. They've got to play their draft. And their draft is, okay, we've got a Tide Hunter. Very, very strong at this point. We've got a DK with a Blink Dagger that we can use to potentially go for some of these early kills. We've got Sharpshooter to be able to... nice use of the Sharpshooter there. To be able to get out of the clinic field. Not going to be enough, though. If you're going to draft like this, you got to play the draft to its strengths, right? And I just feel like they're not doing that. They're going to lose it for 2 tower as well against a pretty slow draft. What in particular
are the strengths, though, of this draft?
Pick off.
Because I don't see a lot.
Pick off strong lanes and a little bit of push with a Meteor Hammer and an Elder Dragon form. So they take mid, tier 1, but they're going to lose top tier 2 in exchange. Not worth it.
Because now you're going to be able to open up the pit. For Bright, it will be a very slow Roche, still with the Morphling not having a whole lot of items. It's going to go into the Manta Cell next, so a very defensive build out of Heart.
They just got straight Roche? Seems like it. Maybe not. I mean, I was really thinking Phoenix immediately after that tier 2 was just going to TP bottom because he's got the bots. You could farm a couple of those extra waves, but a little bit of indecision coming through. And he's finished the Radiance on Winter. So, I mean, I guess he's just going to be playing incredibly passive, right? Looking to farm off the back of this, but I really don't see what it's going to provide you in a bunch of these team fights. Basically not a hero for another 3,500, 4,000 gold. And in that meantime, they're going to take Roshan. They're probably going to take another tier 2 tower minimum. Bottom tier 1 is going to go away, which makes farming the Ancients a little bit more difficult. They're going to go for a smoke and response, though.
A choke point fight could be really the one hope for them to come out on top.
Good position.
But a great positioning from Irving. He's going to be able to scout this out, and he's the one to start the fight with an easy kill over the Undying. And meanwhile, they've also caught the Monkey King out as well. Just Team Bright, too strong, and really that's off the back of Irving. Recognize maybe their weaknesses in a choke point, so they look to leave the pit and give them no opportunity to play around with the threat of the Ravage and the Wukongs in combination together.
I think now if they're like, all right, let's just stay away from this high ground in the Tombstone. Let's just take Roshan. They don't have this to be able to contest the Roche fight. They don't have a Monkey King to be able to play around with as well. And Phoenix is just putting himself on the front lines, realizing that he's unkillable. I want you to guess the win probability.
I don't even care what it is. It's 100%.
99.
99.
There
Sorry.
we go. Always got to give him a chance. It's like 79. I would put it higher than that, though. I really just don't see the avenue for them to come back into this one. Oh, they're even sniping. You see that? Han's voice line is because Clockwork sniped his neutral camp that he was farming at the time.
I have a decent ward, but Radiant one even better that was able to scout out Supernova, starting to bring some of their forces down to bottom. And Irving's just a bait, and they're going to take the bait. Wukong's will get laid down. It's still a lot of damage early on. They won't be able to survive with the BKB still being on cooldown for a couple of seconds. Will cost him his life, but looks like the rebuttal is going to be there. Hookshot not even required, even though it hits Phoenix. Easily able to bring down with the Dragonite. It's a pretty good pushback, though, to enable the retreat. So the rest of Dire, gonna be cautious over the glimpse. It's up in a couple of seconds, Imitator. He's gonna be able to get the vision. They'll drop the ward, and just Chola will be glimpsed back. And we're gonna feed over a Tombstone as well.
All right. Not like they needed more money. But they'll take it.
Yummy, yummy. Money, money. Go.
I wonder what an Imitator's gonna go for. Like, Does he go Boots of Bearing on this Disruptor, or does he look to go into a 4-star? Because, like, again, they've got such little tools to be able to hold people into place. And even just against the Bushwhack as well, right? Just 4-stuff him out of it. Instantly breaks the tree.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if you want to just go Scepter. Maybe, I mean, you did just pick up a Philosopher's Stone, so maybe that's going to change his mind. Or maybe Influence, I think. But he does have Boots of Bearing queued up, so... Yeah, Bob's... I think he'll probably avoid the Blink and go into the Scepter, so... We see, though, Chen might be in some trouble. The Rocket Flare wasn't able to scout him out, but it is another tower that goes the way of Bright. And they still have the Aegis for a decent chunk of time, and now also the Manta completed for the Morphling, so... You're probably in a position where you can look to get another Tier 2 tower.
Again, they're losing so much right now. They're even just popping the drums to assist with the push and the farm from Heart. Upside, Winter's doing his best to try and get this bottom top wave pushed in to take an additional tower off the map, but really doesn't feel like this is going to be too impactful, right? Like a top tier 1 tower at 21 minutes doesn't accomplish all that much.
I'm impressed, though, with how much farm Winter is still getting, though. Level 15. He's keeping up in net worth compared to the Morphling. And there's Chola. They've somehow got a glimpse of the Undying. Maybe saw him duck into the tree line there, so an easy kill for them to find, and should also be an easy Tier 2 tower.
So you mentioned the fact that Winter's getting a good amount of farm, but I've just watched him like leap through the jungle a couple of times and see no camps for him to be able to pick up. And this is the downside of just not pressuring enough in the early phase when you had a decently strong period before Necro got incredibly strong, before the Morphling really started to come online. There just isn't space for you and the Tide Hunter to continue to farm. And well, speaking of Tide, he's going to get caught out.
Yeah, should die inside the Static Storm. And now Irving's also been able to catch out Sheep as well up onto the high ground. You've got Han nearby. Another very cute usage of the Sharpshooter to help get some distance away. But it doesn't look like it's going to matter. They even get the glimpse onto another member as Han forced to pop a BKB defensively, but he was stuck in the cloak for a little bit of time. Winter's going to try and show up here. It's a pretty good Wukong's command. It'll get the kill into the Clockwork, but it's just a support. Oh, didn't get the attribute shift, Heart.
Especially with Disruptor just having TP'd away, but didn't really get value out of that buyback on the Hoodwink, and the net worth continues to grow.
It does indeed, up to a 9,000 advantage here for Bright. Doesn't look like they're going to get anything more out of the Aegis, though, but you are very happy with the current position that this game is in.
Even got an E-Blade on the Necro as well, so...
Okay.
You need even more damage. Yeah.
So. I was just gonna go down saying he had wanted to change his mind. And what do you feel like the reasoning is for him going this E-Blade?
I mean, I guess it just provides a little bit of a defensive tool as well. I mean, it's so versatile, right? They have no one that's going to be able to dispel it for this next little bit. You're not going to use it onto the Tidehunter. He's not doing any sort of physical damage. It enables the Trample, enables the Reaper's Scythe. Even the Static Storm really starts to amp up in damage as well if you're using it in combination with the Ghost Shroud, which you got to remember that makes you take an extra 25 too. So all this stuff really starts to rack up, and well, Undying doesn't seem like he's going to be able to confirm the kill. Nice positioning by Sheep there.
Oh, but still, the Static Storm, there is a bit of a slither for the Tide to position him, but it's not even going to matter.
Still very tanky.
Are they going to be able to get on now? Yes, he is indeed. There is a DD on Heart, but a couple of kills back-to-back for Supernova. Radiant still feels strong to take the fight.
I mean, Necro hasn't even been forced to use the BKB yet. That's how strong of a position he's in. Still top of the net worth, farming around the map completely freely, and still no Nullifier being queued up here.
Ooh, run! Not speedy enough. Very nice smoke. I'm going to capitalize once again. Gives enough gold. Very actually close to the Scepter for Irving, which is... there's just so much to break this game. You got the Draken from the Tide, the Jingu from the Monkey, and then the Dragon's Blood from the Dragon Knight, as they're even getting more kills as well under a T2 tower.
Yeah. Good ward, revealing that sort of positioning. You know, in an unorthodox spot, you're not always going to have sentries covering that sort of area. And this is, again, there's only so much space on the map now for them to be able to farm. And this is before the second Roshan. They might not even need to claim it, but I would say that Team Bright are just going to do the disciplined thing. Take this away, take the map away, extend the net worth lead, get one additional item, and then look to go into Roshan to end the game. They're even going to go top here.
You see Chen, should be an easy kill for them to find. Irving was looking to hold the stun just until the boys started to come nearby, just in case there was ever a TP opportunity. Now with Phoenix here, find his, what are we up to, 6 stacks of the Scythe it looks like, so yeah, good luck killing this man.
And again, lack of Nullifier means he's just like, all right, you're not buying this item, I'm going to go an Aeon Disc. All right, supports, buy your 4 stars. You know, like, there's just so much stuff that you would have value with a Nullifier here that you're not going to get any usage out of. Skadi picked up now as well from Heart. He's almost level 18. Are they going for this?
They're going to try.
I don't know about that, man. You need your Tidehunter.
He's playing with 1800 health on Heart. He's able to get the attribute shift off, so they are committing very heavily to try and kill with the Morphling. They might at least get disrupted though. Kinetic field. Going to be able to get away very close to having enough with the one, but we'll still go down. We see though, if you don't get that instant stun into the Morphling, he's going to have plenty of time to be able to react.
And now you've got an Aghanim Scepter on Primal Beast as well, so you've got Break up against the DK, up against the Monkey King, and the Tidehunter. Real value on all 3 heroes.
They're going to see Monkey as well. This Observer Ward still to play with. Irving, no hesitation, but they know the BKB is on cooldown here for the carry, so it's an easy kill onto Winter. And they're already spying up Chen as well. I don't think a tier 3 tower is going to act as a deterrent with the lead they have. And even the Dragon Knight's going to be in some trouble as well. But the break is out. He'll be able to pop a BKB and turn it back around, but really, they won't get anything more out of it just as long as he keeps his life.
Creep waves here though, and they've got that Tombstone layer down as well for their own high ground push, so this does feel like a bit of a missed opportunity. And I mean, look at all the heals that they're able to provide as well, from the Death Seeker to the Death Pulse. Yeah, not even needing that second Roshan to be able to go up onto the high ground. And now you're going to have to deal with, if it does extend long enough for another Rosh, you're going to have to deal with mid lane, pushing in a little bit stronger. If they choose to commit further. Oh, nice hook.
Oh, that's really deep. They're going to matter though? I don't think so. Very nicely done from Undyne.
They're going for
one last attempt.
They might buy back on the DK.
Did just complete the blink on Chen. So looking for the big reveal, but he's able to get into the middle. Great reactions out of Heart though. Waveform out, Phoenix, he activates the Aeon Disc, and that was your last attempt. Your last ditched hope. The blink into the smoke to defend the base. They don't even kill anyone out of it. Oh, Phoenix is a little bit alone at the moment. They'll probably just turn it back around and might be happy with taking the team fight, Phoenix. Okay, and there we go, Irving. Oh, it's a huge charge crashing on through the middle onto the Monkey King. There you go. And now they can turn their attention over to Han. There's going to be no escape here with the Skadi slow. He'll try and TP out, actually. It might be enough. Okay. Really nice read of the TP, but Chen will not be so fortunate.
So we've got a beyond godlike Necro and a godlike Morphling and a GG being called. We talked about these two teams being relatively even going into this series, but it was all going to come down to the draft if we were skewing one favor. And, you know, props to...